my YouTube channel. This video would be from chapter 3, part 3 of EM induction. But before we get to EM induction, electromagnetic induction, let's recap what we have gone through in my previous video. Now previously we have a motor rule where we make use of Fleming left-hand rule, where you provide magnetic field, you provide current, you will get the electromagnetic force, and this environmental force is going to drive this coil, either goes up and down. And there's also a slow motion video embedded in my previous video, chapter 3, part 2. You may want to look through it and see how does it look like. Also, we have gone through, and you have two conductor where the direction of current is in opposite direction. What happened to the center? The magnetic field builds up, and therefore you have repulsive force. Repulsive force, opposite direction, in the middle. When the current is over the same direction, represented by the dot, the magnetic field in the center actually cancel out. So same direction, attractive force. Okay, it applies here. Same direction. When the current is same direction, and the current flow at the same direction, both the current same at the same direction, you have attractive force. And please don't you confuse with the north-south magnetic field. Okay, it's different, because in north and south magnetic field over here, north and south, they actually attract, meaning opposite sign they attract. Please don't confuse that. Okay. So for current, parallel current, attract. So the best way would be you draft this diagram. Two dots. Look at the magnetic field by using right-hand grips rule. This is counter anti-clockwise. This is clockwise. So therefore it cancels off. We assume they are of the same magnitude. So you have attractive force. One of the application where you're going to make use of that, meaning you provide magnetic field, you provide current, you get the electromagnetic force. This is the left-hand rule. Okay. Now, application, you have center zero galvanometer. Okay, galvanometer. This is what it means, center zero. Zero is at the center. So the needle reading will either go left or right with some reading. After you connect the wire to the system, especially in this video, we will make use of galvanometer a lot because we will look at the direction where the current flow. Now the mechanism of how this galvanometer works, the interior part of it would be, you have sure to have a magnet, maybe a center, a curved magnet, perhaps a curve, north to south, and then the winding of the coil around cylinder, and then you have a needle. So depends whether the current flows in or out. By using the left-hand rule, the needle will either deflect to the left or deflect to the right. Depends where the current flow. The same machine is used here. Now, this video, we will talk about from chapter 3, part 3, Electromagnetic Induction, INDUC. Okay, what does it mean by EM induction? For EM induction, you need to have magnetic field. You provide magnetic field. You provide magnetic force, and you get current. Okay, electric current, current, induced current. They call it as induced current. Induced current. You have magnetic field, you provide magnetic field, magnet, you have magnet, you plus a force, you get induction current. Okay, you compare this in contrast to this. This is M plus C current, magnetic current, you get force. This is Fleming left hand. This is the left hand motor rule, or Fleming left hand motor rule. This is Fleming motor rule. Whereas for this one, magnetic field plus force, that induction current, this is what it meant by the right hand rule. I mean the Fleming left hand rule. Right hand rule, sorry. In time of exam, I think you will be quite confused. Which is left, which is right. So therefore they call a dynamo rule. Some book, they write as dynamo rule, because your magnetic field, you have force, you move from the dynamo, then you get current notified by you have a light bulb or LED these days. So put into words, what does it mean by electromagnetic induction? It's actually a production of electric current, because current is a very general term. Current could mean water current. Okay, so here is production of electric current. How production of current? How do you get production of current? By this is an important term, changing the magnetic field by changing the magnetic field. Okay, changing the magnetic field. Okay, one best way is called a dB over dt. Whenever there is a dB over dt, meaning there's a change in magnetic field, meaning the magnetic field increase and decrease. Alright, now one way to do it would be, how to do it to change magnetic field? It's by, you have a magnetic bar, north-south, and then you have your coil, and then this is your center zero galvanometer. So what happened? When you bring forward and backward of this magnetic bar nearer and further from the coil, then you will have a change in magnetic field. Or another way, you call it as relative motion. Relative motion means the distance between the magnet and the coil, distance changes, meaning the magnetic field felt by this coil increase or decrease over time. Therefore, current will flow in the copper winding. Okay, you may pause my video and go back to the previous bit where you have missed. Or another way of talking it is actually, what does it mean by relative motion? It's when we have two objects getting apart, closer, then you have relative motion, getting a particle motion. If both of the objects move at the same time or same direction, then that's no relative motion because the two objects is always the same distance. When the distance between the magnet and the coil changes, therefore current or electric current will flow in the coil by the deflection of this galvanometer. Okay, so this is actually what happened. Now, let's consider when they are closer. When they are closer, what happened here is when the north pole go nearer to the coil, what happened? This is copper. So copper, they would have electron, free electron. Okay, you may imagine they are free electron, not moving. Okay, when it is closing up, what happened? The north magnetic field, the north pole going nearer to the coil, what happened? This electron fell. The increase of magnetic field. So what happened to it? By using right-hand grip's rule, current will flow in a direction to oppose it. So therefore, the current would flow so that you can get a north pole to oppose the change causing it. So therefore, the coil current, the current flow in the coil will be flow upwards. This is the front, go down. Okay? Current giving you a north. You get closer, then here would be north pole. Therefore, the needle will turn to the right. When it's going apart, when you separate apart, what happens? When you separate, meaning away, when the north pole goes away, what happens? The electron will flow in direction to attract it. So it becomes south pole. So here it becomes south pole, so that it will attract the magnet from going away. Therefore, the current flow opposite direction. When this is what happened. Okay? Lenz Law, summarize it and become a law eventually. Lenz Law says the induced electric current will always flow in the direction to oppose, meaning against it lah, to oppose the change causing it. So Lenz Law is all about the direction of induced current. So what does it mean? Okay, let me separate the diagram and put it in a better way to illustrate it. So if you were to have a coil goes around a cylinder, maybe I put a cylinder now. Cylinder bar, maybe a cylinder rod. Okay. So you coil down, then you up, and then down. Okay. Okay. And then, okay. So the dotted one is at the back. Okay. So the dotted one at the back. Hope this is much more easier to see. It helps you with that. So I'll put it center 0, galvanometer. This is a steady state. What happens when you have a magnet from afar, north and south, magnet bar. Bring near to it. You have relative motion towards the solenoid coil. So what happened? You have this magnetic field, right? Magnetic field goes near, increase. The magnetic field strength increase over time. So what happened? The electric current in a direction oppose the change, meaning when you have north pole, so here you flow in a direction so that you get a north pole here. Will flow in a direction to get a north pole to oppose this direction. So in order to get a north pole by using right hand grips rule, so how you do it? It has to be travel up, right? All 4 fingers goes up, points up. The thumbs go left. So therefore this is north pole. So therefore up. So the needle will point left. So this is what happened. Another scenario, when your magnet is now in the middle or nearer to it and away. Okay. You have a cylinder rod. The same rod. The same configuration. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5. Okay. So now, when you are away, okay, when you are away, what happened? This is north. When you are away, then the current will flow in direction. Try to bring it back, so you have north. You have south pole. So in order to get a south pole, right hand grips rule, all 4 fingers down. Okay, so you get a south pole in the full direction to get south pole. So to the right needle. Okay, so this is what Lenz law says, and this is how the induced current flow. As summarize what we have gone through here. You have magnetic field, you have force, you get current or induced current. There are actually a few examples, or before we go to the next one called next part, alternate current, direct current. How you test out Lenz law that obeys Faraday law? We have mentioned Faraday law actually. Faraday law in my first video. It says the induced current or the magnitude of induced current, or electromotive force EMF, but induced current actually. Induced current, it's directly proportional to the rate change of magnetic flux. First, second, the number of coil. Okay, you can have this experiment. You compare fine winding to 50 winding. You find that the induced current generated will increase by the degree of deflection. It will deflect more. Third, we call the speed of relative motion. The faster you go near it or away, the greater the deflection of an angle. Okay, the number of coil increase, the changes of coil increase, you get a greater magnitude. One example that you get to use every day for Faraday law that obeys Lenz law. Lenz law for induced current is our touch and go. Quite often you see the gantry door at the monorail or LRT or KTM or buses that's taking touch and go card. People tends to rub the touch and go card with the detector. You can see the surface is pretty much scratched up. Or in a toll gate, it doesn't need to actually rub against it because it's wireless. All you need to do is you get a perpendicular motion to it. Unlike this one, again, you need to cut through the flux. You need to have relative motion. This is important. So that you get a change in magnetic field and then therefore the gantry door open. Okay? Electromagnetic induction is very important. We use it almost every day without you knowing. This is basically all about electromagnetic induction that you need to learn and know for Form 5, Chapter 3. Faraday law, for one, important one. Faraday law, Lenz law galvanizes the induction current, and Faraday law states how the magnitude of induced current relates to the physical parameter. Faraday law, physical parameter. Lenz law is about induced electric current. Now if I were you, you are advised to go through your reference text. There are actually a few experiments to investigate these factors for Faraday law. How to set up the experiment, how many turns of winding. If you have gone through it already, that's good for you. Next part would be to go through at least 10 to 15 questions related to induced current. It would be best if you have chapter by chapter, exercise workbook that have chapter by chapter. You go through the part with EM induction in a week time for this video before you go through my next video, where we will talk about direct current and alternate current. With that, if you are first time watching my video, kindly subscribe to my channel. It's free. And you do not want to rush through all my video because it doesn't help you much if you do not practice at home. That's all from me. I like those thumbs up.